pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk Higgins, if you would call the roll, please.
Councilor Campbell.
Present.
Councilor Demers.
Present.
Councilor DeMambro.
Present.
Councilor Ferrullo.
Present.
Councilor Mercer Bruin.
Here.
Councilor Papalato.
Present.
Councilor Toro.
Present.
Councilor Viola.
Present.
President Dillon.
Present.
Make a motion to dispense with the reading of the previous meeting's journal and approve.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
The first item on the agenda we have is communications from His Honor the Mayor. The order that $211,079.93 be transferred from unreserved balance fund account to police salaries account.
Make a motion the matter be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item is the order that $425,000 be transferred from unreserved balance account to rubbish removal account and to the recycling account.
Make a motion the matter be referred to the Committee on Finance.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is the order that the sum of $1,796,000 be transferred from Fire BLS ambulance to various fire accounts.
Same action.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is a petition for new livery license for Ride with Haley LLC, 12 Westgate Drive.
Make a motion the matter is referred to the Committee on Public Safety and License.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item is petitions for renewal of livery licenses by the following: Boston Express Livery Services and Checker Cab of Woburn, Inc.
Same action.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is petition for renewal of taxi cab licenses for Checker Cab of Woburn, Inc.
Second.
Make a motion the matter be referred to the Committee on Public Safety and License.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
The next 5 items are first readings for special permits.
Make a motion that
Collectively
they be
take
taken collectively, and then time set at the discretion of the president
refer to a public hearing.
for public hearing.
Second.
There is a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is under public hearings, is the NSTAR Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, for grant of location to install 1 new joint pole on Mill Street for services to a new apartment building at 57 Mill Street. A communication dated May 5th, 2025 was received from Jackie Duffy requesting this be withdrawn.
Make a motion that the matter, make a motion that the communication be received, made part of the permanent record.
Second. Make a
Motion
motion
and a
to
second.
open the public hearing. Oh, sorry,
Yes.
President.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion that the public hearing is closed.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That
Make
passes.
a motion that the leave to withdraw without prejudice is granted.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the public hearings is Zuman Yan, DBA Daisy Body Spa, for a special permit under Woburn zoning ordinance section 5.1 subsection 33B to allow for muscular therapy at 440 Main Street, aka 442 Main Street. A committee report from the Committee on Special Permit was received, ought to pass with various conditions.
Make a motion that communication be received, made part of the permanent record.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Attorney Tobby, how are you tonight?
Fine, thank you. For the record, Attorney Joseph Tobby, Reuben and Rudman, 500 Unicorn Park Drive in Woburn, here on behalf of the applicant. We met on April 22nd with the Special Permits Committee. We requested documents at that time. After review and discussion, the committee voted that the petition ought to pass with the following conditions. Prior to the filing of a building permit application, the petitioner's contractor, and the property owner shall meet with the building commissioner and fire inspector to review the proposed floor plan and all work to be performed on the premises. 2, all muscular therapists shall be licensed by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and the hours of operation, which originally were requested from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., is actually 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Those were the conditions that came out of committee, and unless you have any further questions, I'd ask you to move on the committee report.
Any questions for Attorney Tybee?
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
A motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
I'll make a motion that the special permit be granted subject to the conditions in the committee report.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, Attorney Tybee. Good luck.
Next item on the agenda is 120 Commerce Apartments LLC for a special permit under section 23.9 and 13.10 to construct a signage at 120 Commerce Way. A committee report from the Committee on Special Permits was received ought to pass with various conditions.
Motion to.
Make a motion to accept the communication, make it part of the permanent record.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes. Attorney Giuliano, how are you tonight?
Good, Mr. President. Thank you very much. For the record, Attorney James Giuliano, Giuliano Law Group, 607 Main Street here in Woburn, on behalf of the applicant, 120 Commerce. As the clerk mentioned, we did have a committee meeting on April 22nd where the recommendation was ought to pass pending Council Mercer Bruin's further recommendations. And we did have a chance to speak, and so I think the conditions that we had submitted are acceptable, and those obviously being other than the plans of record that have been submitted on March 5th and April 15th, and obviously all the other special permits that were issued prior to shall remain in full force and effect. The third one was the one that was sort of custom to this application, that basically being that all approved in accordance with the plans that were submitted, and essentially that any signage sort of in the band, as Commissioner Quinn called, would not require a special permit should there be new tenants at the location at 120 Commerce. Obviously, tenants come and go, so you know the thought was so that we'd have to keep coming for special permits for every tenant that came and go, as long as those signs fit the band of the ones that were approved, possibly approved tonight. So those are the only three conditions, other than the ones that were previously submitted with the prior special permits. So,
President Dillon?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. I turned my page too quickly. So there were no conditions that came out of the committee ought to pass. Attorney General Giuliano is absolutely correct.
Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Everyone's good?
I'll admit it.
Okay. Questions for Attorney Giuliano?
Yeah,
Councilor Boone?
Want to comment, I'm happy to move this forward this evening, and I'd like to thank the committee for suggesting that I get a chance to review it after it comes out of committee. My apologies for not being there. I wasn't feeling very well that night, but thank you all. I appreciate the deferring to me in the end. I'm happy to move forward tonight if the council is.
thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for Attorney Giuliano? Seeing none.
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
A motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this petition? Please step forward.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion that the petition be granted with the conditions as outlined.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Good luck.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
Appreciate
Attorney.
everyone.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is AA Windows Products, Inc. for a special permit under Section 5.157B to allow for overnight parking of 8 commercial vehicles and to modify previously existing special permit dated December 8th, 2005, at 7 Constitution Way. A committee report from the Committee on Special Permits was received ought to pass with various conditions.
Make a motion that the communication received made part of the permanent record.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Attorney Tarby, you have the floor, sir.
Yes, for the record, Joseph Tabby, Reuben and Redmond, 500 Unicorn Park Drive in Woburn, here on behalf of the applicant, A&A Window Products, Inc. The underlying use of the petitioner, as you know, is an allowable use, and the special permit that we're seeking is for the overnight parking of commercial vehicles, specifically 8 commercial vehicles. We met with the committee on April 22nd. After a review and discussion of the petition, the committee voted ought to pass with 4 conditions. 1, tying in the site plan of record as condition 1, typical condition 1. 2, condition on dumpsters having to be in compliance with the Woburn zoning ordinance and the Woburn Municipal Code. 3, all commercial vehicles parked overnight at the site shall be registered in the city of Woburn, and that all conditions of any prior special permit shall remain in effect unless modified by this special permit. So unless you have any further questions, I'd ask again that you move on the committee report.
Any questions for Attorney Tarby? Well, good.
Quick
Oh, I'm
comment.
sorry.
Again, I wanted to thank the committee, and thank you for Attorney Tarby reaching out. I take no exception to the conditions that were presented here or to the special permit.
Thank you.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion the special permit be granted with the conditions as outlined in the committee report.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Congratulations. Good luck.
Next item on the agenda is Treetop Home LLC for a special permit on section 7.3 to raise a pre-existing non-conforming 4-family dwelling and rebuild a new 4-story dwelling at 5 Bennett Street. A communication dated May 1st, 2025 was received from Attorney James Giuliano.
Make a motion the communication be received made part of the permanent record.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Attorney Giuliano, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. Good evening again. For the record, Attorney James Giuliano, Giuliano Law Group, 607 Main Street here in Woburn, on behalf of my client, Treetop Home LLC. As you know, this one's been a little bit, it's been in front of the council for a while. My client has agreed and is going to remove the 3rd bedroom, so they agreed to do 2 bedrooms. It's going to require some reconfiguration of the actual house itself. It's going to take some time. I suggested, rightfully so, that because we've kept this on the agenda for a few months at this point, that we withdraw this without prejudice so that when they're ready to go, we can bring an application forward that we think is pretty much in final format rather than keep this on. I don't think that's fair to anybody, and then that way we're sort of in front of it, and hopefully should be something satisfactory to the council and to the neighbors at that point. So, again, we just request that this be withdrawn without prejudice so that we can refile when my client is ready to get the renderings drawn.
Any questions?
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Second.
A motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
You good?
I'll withdraw.
You good? Okay.
Make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
A motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Motion that the leave to withdraw without prejudice is granted.
Second.
Second.
The motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Thank you again, everyone.
Good luck.
Thank you. Attorney.
Next item on the agenda, we have Tesla Inc. for special permit on section 5.156 to install 3 Tesla supercharger cabinets, et cetera, at 425 Washington Street. A communication dated April 7th, 2025 was received from Jeff Holland regarding a request to continue.
Make a motion that the communication be received made part of the permanent record.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing good, thank you. How are you?
Very good. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, great. So,
Could you just identify yourself for the record, please?
oh, sorry, yes, I'm Ed Noseworthy, and I'm the design engineer for Tesla for the Northeast. So, yeah, we had brought this plan before the committee a couple of months ago, and since then, we had met Councilperson Mercer Bruin, who was nice enough to meet us on site to talk about sort of a more suitable location on this particular site. So since then, we've been working hard, trying to make these changes. We have landlord approval in which we've entered an agreement with the property owner to move the site to what we believe is a better area to address some of the concerns for Thomas Quinn and the committee. So we've moved our 12 charging stations and support equipment to basically the opposite side of the parking lot. So, Lindsay, I believe we submitted digital copies. I also have hard copies with me here too, if anyone would like to see them. But the main concerns that we are addressing are, one, moving away from the residential area and the residential buffer, which is on the western side of the property. We've moved away from that, from the opposite side, away from the residential area. We've also, Thomas Quinn was also wary of the setbacks. We've also moved beyond the front yard setbacks, so the setbacks are no longer an issue either. We're more towards the interior of the lot. And then the final two items we were addressing were no stall loss for the equipment. So the nice thing about this new location is that there's an existing kind of curved out landscaped area at the end of the parking row that we can utilize for the utility transformer, supercharger cabinets, and our switchboard. So there's no stall loss required for the support equipment. And then finally, we also have our plans stamped by a licensed surveyor, which Thomas Quinn had requested as well. So, yeah, hoping that this new location is suitable. And, yeah, I think that's the update from our last meeting, and happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Councilor Mercer Bruin?
Just a couple of comments. Thank you for coming out to the site and being willing to listen to some of the concerns from myself and Commissioner Quinn, and thank you for your hard work to bring it to this collaborative stage. But your request tonight, you were looking for a continuance.
So, sorry,
So,
okay, right.
I was assuming that we would probably go to committee next week, if we end up having a committee meeting soon, to work out some conditions and to take a look at the plans altogether. Is that your
Yeah, I think
understanding?
our messaging got a little crossed. So yes, we would love to go to committee for this site. And then because we've been focused on this site, we have another site at Mishawam that we were hoping to continue, which I believe is up next on the agenda. But for this site, yeah, we think we have it hopefully in a good spot and would love to proceed forward if that's okay.
Okay, that's the recommendations I would make, is that we send it to committee. But I'd like to hear from the rest of the city councilors. So I'm all set. President Dillon?
Thank you. Councilor Viola?
Madam Clerk, just a point of order. Have we received the updated maps?
No, thank you for asking. I have not received any updated plans.
That, I have,
Yes, Councilor
Okay.
Demias.
I have an email from last Friday, May 2nd, with the updated plans electronically.
They need to be filed.
Oh, with
With
the,
the clerk's
I don't
office.
know, I wasn't on it, was I?
Yeah, so that was the email I was operating to. We had sent the digital copies and you had asked us to bring 10 hard copies to
Yes.
this meeting, which
Oh,
I have
okay.
as well. So I'm
So-
happy to pass those out as well.
procedurally, we should accept the hard copies as the stamped copy for the clerk's record. So if you could, that'd be great. Thank you for the latitude, Mr. President.
Absolutely.
What's that? I'll take them after.
That's fine.
I'll make a motion that the map, that the plans as received this evening were made part of the permanent record and are made of the site plan of record.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Any other further questions?
I'll make a motion that we continue the public hearing and have a discussion in committee.
We're going to open the public.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's
Make
okay.
a motion to open the public hearing.
Thank you.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here in the audience that would like to speak on this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion that the public hearing be continued to the regular meeting of the city council on May 20th.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I think we're on the next agenda.
Yes, you
You
are.
are.
You can stay right there.
The next item on the agenda is Tesla Inc. for special permit under section 5.156 to install 4 Tesla supercharger cabinets as well as other equipment at 300 Mishram Road. A communication dated April 7th, 2025 was received from Jeff Holland.
Make a motion the communication be received and made part of the permanent record.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Okay, yeah, so this, for this particular site, because
Could
we've
you
been.
just, again,
Just-
sorry, because it's a new special.
Ed knows really with Tesla design engineering.
Thank you.
So, yeah, 300 Mishawon, we've been hyper-focused on our other site here, 425 Washington, and if it's okay, we'd like to ask for a continuance for the 300 Mishawon site.
Yes, Councilor Mercer Bruin.
Thank you. So I'm going to recommend that we not have a continuance. It's been made very clear that this is not allowed in our ordinance, the current ordinance, and it's been kicking around for a while. And that's going to be my recommendation tonight to the council. We have a very clear memo from Commissioner Quinn on this matter, and I agree with his opinion.
Okay, is it possible to withdraw without prejudice?
I'll defer to the rest of the council. I would have
Take
to,
a vote on
I
that.
would take a vote on that.
Okay.
Yes, Councilor Demirs.
I think it would be a, matter of course if a petitioner comes to us before we would seek a denial asking for leave without prejudice. I think it's a smart move in this particular situation because it also doesn't tie any petitioner's hand for future petition to even present an ordinance change if they wanted to do that. So I think that would be fair within this regard.
Thank you.
Could you repeat that, please? I
Sure.
missed the very beginning of that comment.
So our current zoning has it that this wouldn't be an allowed
Right.
use at the mall. So if they were to request if we were to deny the special permit, it would tie their hands if they ever wanted to change the ordinance to allow this. And it's a pretty innocuous use for that area. So I think it would be fair if we just let them withdraw the permit, and then they would be able to see what steps they wanted to take later. But this is here,
Yeah.
this issue is before us without it applying in the ordinance, so it's kind of almost like null and void anyhow. We couldn't approve it because we'd be violating our own ordinances.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I just missed what you had said. I didn't hear. Mr. President, to the clerk, does that need to be in writing, Lindsay?
There are a lot of things in writing that doesn't happen, but it's up to you guys.
Okay, so it doesn't have to be, so,
I think he's expressed it.
okay.
Get him on the record saying you requested this, correct? I would maybe just reiterate that with him.
Are you requesting a leave to withdraw without prejudice?
Yes, we'd like to withdraw without prejudice if we can.
Before we get that far, Councilor Mercer Bruin has a
So that's on the
question.
record. Okay,
Thank you.
yes.
I just want to go on the record saying I'm not going to support a leave to withdraw. I have many concerns about this site, and in particular, there was a reason it wasn't put into the ordinance. I was there when it was written with the state. It's a friendly 40B. So I won't support that tonight. But I just wanted to make that clear for the rest of the council. It's
Yeah.
very clear the issues we have down there, and we're trying to solve them, so not make them worse.
Mr. President?
Yes,
Thank you.
Councilor Campbell.
Yes, Councilor Mercer Bruin is absolutely correct. One of the main reasons, obviously, is parking. Taking up this amount of spaces is a lot. But I will vote for the leave to withdraw for tonight. But just so that you understand, there's a really big hurdle that you need to be able to go over to get this approved. But I will vote for the leave to withdraw without prejudice.
Yep, and just so you know, I totally understand, and, we don't even know if our intent is to resubmit at one point. I just felt like procedurally that's the right thing to do right now, because,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Understood.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
There is a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion to close the public hearing?
Second.
Motion and a second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
I'll make a motion that the leave to withdraw without prejudice be granted.
Second.
There is a motion and a second.
Roll call.
Roll call.
Counsel Campbell.
Aye.
Counsel Demers.
Aye.
Counsel DeMambro.
Aye.
Counsel Ferrullo.
Aye.
Counsel Mercer Bruin.
Nay.
Counsel Papalato.
Aye.
Counsel Toro.
Opposed.
Counsel Viola.
Opposed.
Counsel Dillon.
Opposed.
It's 5-4.
Very good. So, that is denied.
Okay.
No,
No.
No, it passed.
I'm sorry,
So
that
was
passes.
grant-
The motion
yeah,
passes, correct.
Not a,
Yeah. I understand what President Dillon thought, though.
Yeah, if it was
Yes.
a special permit, it would be.
Yes.
It wouldn't have.
Correct, correct.
But it
So-
did pass.
Everyone's clear.
Pass, so the
Withdrawal.
withdrawal, okay,
The withdrawal passed.
okay,
Your request for withdrawal has passed.
thank you.
Very good.
All right, have a nice
Thank you.
evening.
Great, thank you so much,
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Take care.
Next item on the agenda is NSTAR Electric Company, DBA Eversource Energy, for a grant of location to install approximately 5 feet of conduit in Mishram Road for service to 300 Mishram Road. A communication dated May 5th, 2025 was received from Jackie Duffley, the right-of-way agent, requesting continuance.
Make a motion that communication be received and made part of the permanent record?
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Make a motion to open the public hearing?
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Anyone here that would like to speak in this matter, please step forward. Seeing no one.
Make a motion that the public hearing be continued to the regular meeting of the city council on June 3rd.
Second.
Question,
Yes.
I think this is directly tied to that next one, so I don't know if you want to answer the next, could be 20th.
I said June 3rd.
They might be withdrawing it because the other, it's tied to the 300.
Okay, so I'll withdraw my motion and I'll make a motion that it's continued to
June 3rd.
May,
May 20th.
May 20th. Yeah, so it's the next matter of business. And
20th.
if they withdraw, they'll withdraw.
Okay. There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is determine whether property located at 4 Maywood Terrace is a nuisance as term described in Mass General Law, Chapter 139, Section 1. A communication dated May 2nd, 2025 was received from the building commissioner.
Make a motion that communication is received and made part of the permanent record?
Second.
The motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. And
I'm going to
Councilor
make a
Boone.
motion before I comment that we open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak on this Maywood Terrace matter? Please step forward.
Yeah.
How are you tonight? Just state your name and address, please.
Deborah McLaughlin, 23 Fay Street, Wilmington, Mass.
Just do me a favor, pull that microphone a little closer to you. And repeat that, please.
Deborah McLaughlin, 23 Fay Street, Wilmington, Mass.
Thank you for your help. You have the floor. Questions?
No, I don't have questions.
Councilor Mercer Bruin.
Thank you for coming to the hearing. Deborah, if you could give the council an update on the status.
I filed the eviction paperwork yesterday with the court.
Okay.
So I'm just waiting, I guess, for a court date.
Okay. So for those that have been following at home or for the neighbors, you told the council probably 5 weeks or so that you issued an eviction notice to the tenants. The tenants refused to leave, and now you are now taking the next step in the legal process.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just, I wanted to make sure everybody knew where we're at.
Yes,
Okay.
I spoke to them on Wednesday. They said that they weren't leaving, that they didn't have a place. I told them that they had the paperwork and they didn't have a choice. So my only other option was to file the paperwork.
Right, with the court system and to go
Correct.
through the process?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate the update for the council and for everyone at home. I did speak with Attorney Salvati today to confirm all of that. So I appreciate it, and we'll probably circle back in 2 or 3 weeks as a committee to get an update.
Okay.
But those are all the questions I have at this point.
Thank you. Anyone else? Very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in this matter? Seeing no one,
I'd like to make a motion, we continue the public hearing to the second,
we need to close. That's-
No,
no, we're going to
Okay,
continue
that's
it.
right, we're
I'd like to
gonna
continue it.
Thank you.
Because as I said, I did speak with Attorney Salvati, and we agreed to circle back on
Very good.
what date?
the second week in June,
Second meeting in June?
second meeting in June, yes.
17.
That would be June,
Twen-
I go to June 9th,
June 17th.
No,
June 17th, correct.
June 17th.
And
So
that's in the form of a motion.
Second.
Second.
Motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
That
I'd-
passes.
I'd also like to make a motion that we send a communication to Attorney Salvati and ask him to provide an update prior to June 17th if he receives any more additional information about the court proceedings.
Second.
Second.
Motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes as well.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is President Dillon requests for a proposed zoning amendment, adding a new section 36 entitled Protected Use Accessory Dwelling Units, and adding various other notes. A communication dated May 1st, 2025 was received from City Solicitor Mark Salvati.
Make a motion the communication be received, made part of the permanent record?
Second.
Second.
Motion in a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Yes,
If I may, Mr.
Councilor
President.
Demers.
Yeah, just to touch on this briefly with the ADU ordinance. There's been a lot of work going on, as you can see from the red line from the state's documentation within the packet, that the regulations that have been promulgated and have constantly been changing have caused a lot of work to be done on that legislation that was passed. And then the proposed zoning language here for the city with accessory dwelling units. I know I've spoken with a few of my colleagues here for their concerns, and I think Attorney Salvati and that working group has gotten onto something that would fit the community, but it really needs to be flushed out on that committee where Solicitor Salvati will let us know what our protections are in the community and what authorities will be responsible for the granting of what types of ADUs, whether it's single-family, two-family, and so forth. So I think he'll be at our meeting, and we'll also make accommodation to have Commissioner Quinn there as well, to go over the impacts of his department's enforcement of these types of units that are going to be available for folks to be applying for permits for. So it is our hope that we get this taken care of sooner rather than later, so that anybody applying will fall under the regulations as they were drafted by Solicitor Salvati.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
And just to follow up a little bit on that, I have also talked to other selectmen and city councilors in other communities, and they have basically taken the same course of action, many of them based on this still coming through with changes from the State House and the governor, so makes sense. Thank you. So that's in form of a motion to keep it with committee.
I'll leave it. Well, it's already in committee, so
Yes,
the
it's in.
motion wouldn't be necessary. I didn't know if any of my other colleagues had any comments, because I wasn't going to make a motion to open the public hearing at this
Okay.
time.
Speaking to Commissioner Quinn, he was receptive to coming to our committee meeting. I'd like to make that in the form of a motion
sending him a communication requesting his attendance at our most recent committee meeting, where we will be discussing the EDU.
Second.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
That passes.
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Motion and a second to open the public hearing, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward, state your name and address, please. How are you, Chris?
Good, how are you? Christopher Sylvia, 13 Bennett Street. I guess it's just us today. But, you know, I do think that the ADU ordinance ought to pass. I don't see any harm in taking some time to get it right and talking to other towns and seeing what we can do. I mean, this seems like a matter of enshrining common sense into law, which is hard. You know, if someone has a lot with plenty of space, they should be able to build an ADU. And then there are some of the corner cases that had been mentioned earlier. So hopefully we can get something that, you know, enshrines common sense into law and lets us get some shovels in the ground and build some ADUs if that's what the property owners want. I did want to ask something, sort of not just on this, but going forward. You know, I see the city council agenda gets published, you know, onto the website and sometimes in the Chronicle. But is there any way to know the text of these zoning amendments so that I could read it before coming here? I don't know if I can ask. I forget if I can ask questions as part of public hearings, but that is a question I've got.
Well, I'm sorry, your question is?
So the hearing says adding a new section 36 entitled Protected Use ADUs and adding 1A and 1B to section 5.1 Table of Use Regulations. I was just asking if there's any way for me to know what's the text is before the meeting so I can like see if I support it or not.
Sure, you could check with the clerk's office. Would that be the correct way to go about it, Clerk Higgins?
There's several ways you can contact our office and we can email it to you.
Okay.
It's also, we have an extended agenda posted to the meeting. In the original extended agenda, when this is submitted, the zoning amendment submitted, the whole zoning amendment would be in there. So when it was first, and then tonight's extended agenda, I did not put all the red line versions in of the changes from City Solicitor Savati,
Okay.
but we do have that in there.
Thank you, Clerk Higgins. I didn't know that. Sorry to take up too much time.
Just to
Thank
let
you.
you know, the extended agenda is usually posted after, it takes me some time to put that together.
Okay,
So it's
no
usually
worries.
posted after the meeting notice is posted.
Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you,
Chris.
Clerk Higgins, for that. How are you tonight, Sasha?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Sasha Hernandez, 13 Bennett Street. I just wanted to say I'm generally in favor of ADUs because I think we saw with the recent Tachi project, I think there's not much appetite in Woburn for massive towers going up, but I do think a lot of people wouldn't mind their neighbor putting up a small, like, one-bedroom apartment to maybe have their grown kids or their elderly parents live there. So I know this will have to pass in Woburn. I just want to, I don't know, state that I'm eager to have this pass. And hopefully we won't put too many restrictions on them that'll make them really difficult to build. You know, my house is non-conforming in every single possible dimension. And I don't think that should necessarily prevent me from having a right to build an ADU like my neighbors who have slightly more conforming lots. So it is something to keep in mind. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Seeing nobody.
Make a motion the public hearing be continued to the regular meeting of the city council on May 20th.
Second.
Second.
There is a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is Council Mercer Bruin and Council Demers, proposed zoning amendment to section 11.3 to add the special permit petitions be sent to the building commissioner for review and comment. Just as a information, the planning board you have not received the planning board recommendation. I believe the meeting on it next week on May 13th.
Councilor Mercer Bruin.
Thank you. And also, thank you to Councilor Demers for helping with this. So oddly enough, the commissioner of the building department is not on the special permit application to receive copies of plans. And for as many years as I have been doing this wonderful collaboration with my fellow Ward 5 constituents, I made the assumption he was. But as I thought about it, every single time we make a motion to send a copy of the plans. And at the end of the day, he should get them anyway, whether we make that motion or not. So it's as simple as that, right? He needs to be on the application. That way he'll get those plans ahead of when the public hearings happen. So that's really, I mean, I'm sure Councilor Demers might have some more to add, but for me, I have to say, I really was surprised. But then when I thought about it, I was like, he gets them because we asked for him to get the plan. So that's why we're here. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Demers.
No, I think this will help streamline the process, help us not have to burden the clerk's office with sending communications to the different departments. And I think this is, just looking at what may have already been a best practice. Some of these plans were probably making their way to Commissioner Quinn, but it just would be good to have it codified within our ordinance, just to make sure that, the process and the ball gets rolling. More of our department heads are being consulted so that we get this information ahead of time, as opposed to going multiple meetings down the road and then having to request it because it hasn't been there yet. So I think this is a simple change, but something that'll help us in terms of efficiency when it becomes time to review petitions.
From the chair, I thank you both for doing this. Anything that's going to make the process go smoother, I applaud, so thank you both.
And to Councilor Demers' point, we definitely want to make, the clerk's office is so busy already. But again, we do rely heavily on our department heads. And again, even if Commissioner Quinn doesn't have a copy of the plans, it has always been my practice as a city councilor to meet with him weekly, to go over things. So I'm glad he's going to get these things way in advance now. So I hope you'll all support it. And I think we'll probably wait for the planning board. And I don't think we have to, but we usually, it's an ordinance change, so we do need to wait. Okay, thank you very much.
Councilor DeMambo.
I think this is outstanding. I think it should probably have been done 25 years ago.
I haven't been here 25 years, so.
Only 18, but I have to say, our inspectional services and our building department and our building commissioner is an intricate part of
Absolutely.
pretty much 98% of our petitions that come through here. We rely on him heavily. I know I do. I can speak on behalf of myself. I'm in full support of this. I was actually surprised that he didn't automatically get prints and schematics right away. So I am fully on board with this, and I support this 1,000%. Thank you.
So we'll await the planning board.
I'll make a motion that we open the public hearing.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to open the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in this matter? Please step forward. Seeing no
I'll
one.
make a motion to continue the public hearing to the meeting of May 20th, and that the matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinance.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is under committee reports. From the Committee on Public Safety and License, the petition for renewal of taxi cab license for Woburn Cab Company, Inc. at 100 Ashburn Avenue. A committee report was received, ought to pass.
Make a motion the committee report be adopted.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to committee report be adopted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Under motions, orders, and resolutions, a traffic commission order to remove handicap parking sign in front of 48 Beacon Street.
Make a motion the order be adopted.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to order be adopted. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Next item on the agenda is an order to suspend Rule 22 to have committee meetings on May 19th, 2025.
Make a motion the committee report be adopted.
Second.
On the motion?
Excuse me, the order be adopted.
Yes,
On
on
the
the
motion.
motion, Councilor Campbell.
Yeah, I'm just wondering why. Is there an urgency? Is the 19th,
Would you like me to respond to that,
yeah.
President?
Pardon me?
Would you like me to respond to that?
Please
President?
do, Clerk
It's
Higgins.
scheduled to have a meeting with the state representative, the state delegation that day. They had to plan the date ahead of time.
Okay, all right, sounds good. All right,
you for
thank
the
you.
clear-
That is my
Clarification?
understanding of it.
Yep,
Thank you.
And there's a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
One moment, please, sorry. Next item on the agenda is a resolve that the Economic Development Manager provide an update on May 19, 2025.
Make a motion that the matter be referred to the Committee on Liaison.
Second.
Before we do that, Councilor Papalato?
Yeah, so as the liaison to the Woburn Redevelopment Authority, I sit in a lot of these meetings, and they're doing some really good work. There's a lot of things happening within the city that were new to me. Some of you probably know about it, some of you may not know some of these things that are going on, and I asked if they could come and present in front of the council, and we decided that a committee meeting would be the right place to do it. I think it would be educational for some, and for others, it might be old news, but I thought there's a lot of good stuff here that everybody should know, so that's what this is for.
Thank you, sir. There is a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
There is a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
That passes. We are adjourned at 7:48.